If you want your customers to pay you more money, then we need to create more value. We need to offer more to customers. And one of the things that we can do is we can use AI to help us. And I'm going to, in this video, share with you how you can use some really powerful prompts to help you build out value pricing systems that will help you with your pricing. So I'm going to get straight into it. We're going to dive in, and we're going to use a case study for this video just to kind of illustrate the process that you could go through. And I'm going to use this particular firm. It's a bookkeeping business. I just came across their website. I don't know who they are. They're a bookkeeping business in the US, in Portland. And they have a page with their services, and for their bookkeeping service, they list it here. Now, there's a number of things here that really could be improved very, very significantly. The wording is not great, and when they talk about what they do, they list it here. This is what they do as part of their bookkeeping business. And if you're not an accountant or a bookkeeper, if you were a business owner, you would look at this and think, so what? Great, wow, you do monthly accruals, you do reconciliation of banks and credit cards, you do expensing of prepaids. These are all features. No business owner is interested in any of this stuff. In fact, there's nothing here they're interested in entirely. I mean, it says here, for example, looking for the best bookkeeping service for yourself, for your business. We've been offering professional bookkeeping for 15 years. No business owner cares about that. So we need to improve all this. We can improve the entire pricing system here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm going to use some standard prompts from my prompt library. And if you've not watched my other videos, let me just quickly explain what I mean by a prompt library and prompt templates. There are so many amazing things that we can do with large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. And once we've figured out powerful use cases, things that we can do repeatedly, I always recommend turn them into standard prompts that you can copy and paste and use. Build a prompt library, which is what this is, a library of standard prompts. If I just close down this for a second, prompts to help you with pricing, financial data analysis, business strategy, advisory, and so much more. Have a series of your favorite prompts together, because then you can save so much time by just copying and pasting the prompts that you need. So this is what I'm going to talk about now. We're going to go and look at how can we improve the pricing for this business. And the first thing I always recommend is when we are value pricing, we need to start off by figuring out how can we create more value? How can we create more value for the customer? And there's a number of reasons why we should do that. Firstly, I believe that the number one focus of our firms should always be the customer. How can we change their lives? What more can we do? Because that's the right thing to do. Focus on the customers, change their lives, and the profits will follow afterwards. So that's the first thing. Number two, when you create more value, when you go above and beyond, when you have better services, then you differentiate yourself from the other businesses out there that just do the bare minimum, the basics, the essentials. And thirdly, when you create more value, as long as you price based on value, you can charge higher prices, and customers will willingly pay you higher prices when they get more, when you change their life, when you change their business. So we need to add more value. And if I was working with this business, this is the first thing I would do. I would think, okay, there's 6 things here they do which are fairly ho-hum. What more could we do to give customers a better result? And of course, we could do some brainstorming, but this is what AI systems are really good at. So what I would do is I would go and grab a prompt. I would go to my prompt library and perhaps filter by pricing prompts, and I have one called Add More Value, and I would just simply copy this to the clipboard and then go to ChatGPT and do Control-V to paste it. Now I've done this already, so I'll just show you what I have done. And here is the prompt. You'll see it's a long prompt. I will explain it in a moment. Yes, it's long. Please don't worry about that. It's not that scary, as you will soon see. And then I will walk you through what it's done, which is really, really impressive. But first, a few things about the prompt itself. One of the things I always do with my prompt templates in the library is use variables, which I always put at the end. And what this means is that we can copy and paste this prompt and we could use it over and over again. If you've got multiple services, you could run this prompt with every service that you offer, every product you offer. You could run this prompt. You would not have to edit any of this. All you have to change are the variables at the end. And if you are an accounting firm who is adding value to clients and helping clients through advisory or price consulting, you could use this same prompt and put in your client's details at the very end, and it will do the process that you're about to see. So to run this prompt, I need to give ChatGPT some information, and that is a bit about the business, what is the service, and what does it currently do. So I've just put in here, I've defined the website. This is the website of the business. It's this one here. I gave it the homepage. What's the service outcome? Well, it's to complete a client's bookkeeping. And what does it currently do? And I could have listed what it does, but I just put in the pricing page here so we can see these 6 things here. That's the variables: website, service outcome, essential features. Let's just go back to the top and let me walk you through what's in this prompt and why. So it starts off with the role that I want ChatGPT to play. You are a product manager specializing in service design with expertise in customer-centric product development and feature prioritization. We know from prompt engineering that when we give it a role, we get a better result. The sort of result we would expect from a product manager as opposed to a helpful assistant. So then we've got the task, and I've broken it down into 2 parts. So the task description, firstly, analyze the website. And here's our first variable. Rather than having to put in the website here, since it appears several places in our prompt, the website that's the variable. It's what we defined down here. This is the website. Okay, so this is why using variables is really powerful. This is the only thing we have to change. It will now, you could put a client's website here, change these other 2 variables, and it would do the same prompt, but then for a different business. So we wanted to analyze the website, to visit and review the website, to get context on the business, its service offerings, and its ideal customers. Use that context to inform every recommendation. So first of all, learn about the business. And then what I wanted to do is improve a service offering for this website of the service that is bookkeeping. And I will provide you with essential features, which, if you remember, was the website in the web page that's got the services. Be creative, identify additional features that add clear value for the customers and produce a better outcome. So that's what this prompt does. That's the 2 steps. Number 1, analyze the website. Number 2, now come up with other things that we could do to add value. But we've also got a template here. It's very useful to tell it what the output is. So I wanted to give me a feature and what we do, and then here is an example. I've put an example for it to follow. I've got some guidelines. Never repeat the essential features, only list new features that are going to add value. Your output must be a numbered list. And there's a reason for that. You'll see that in a bit. Keep each numbered item short and specific, based recommendations on what you learned from the website, and then prioritize features that are easy to implement and clearly improve the customer outcomes. And then I've got examples, and this is what makes it a long prompt. With prompt engineering, we know that these AI systems, they're not intelligent, they are pattern-based. They look for patterns. So when we give examples for it to follow, it will help it to give us a more consistent and a better output. So I've just simply given it, this is an example from some of my own work in this area. Here's another example, and here's a third example. And then we've got the variables. So that's the prompt. When you have this as a prompt template, it takes just a few seconds to copy and paste. And then when we run it, it's coming up with 12 other things that this bookkeeping business could add to its bookkeeping service to make it more valuable to the customer. And if we just go through this quickly, it's suggesting that we could offer real-time cash flow dashboards to provide a client with a live dashboard that shows inflows, outflows, and projected cash runway, so they always know where they stand, which I think is a great idea. We could have monthly anomaly detection alerts, quarterly financial health checks, budget, build, and tracking service, forecasting and scenario modeling, vendor and customer aging insights, clean books onboarding accelerator. I don't know what that is, but you can read about it there. It tells you what it is. Template and workflow kits, bookkeeping training and support sessions, integration, review and optimization, tax prep, liaison and consolidation, and a growth check-ins and advisory touch points. I think they're all great ideas. Really, really good. That would then create such a more valuable service to those clients that value it. And that leads me to another point. Of course, with value pricing, everybody values things differently. And so you might come up with the best possible service in the world with, for example, all those extra 12 features. But not everybody wants those. Everybody's different. Some clients will love those things. Some will think, ho-hum, I don't need that. It's not suitable. So once we've created more value, the second thing we want to do is then recognize that different people value things differently. But we don't know when we're talking to a customer which things they'll value and which they won't. So we need some systems in place, some value pricing systems to do that. And one of the ways of doing that is to give choice, to give options, let them choose the things that they value. And one of the best ways to do that is to use what I call menu pricing. Menu pricing is where we simply give them a choice of three things, three packages. Think of it as you like, if you like, as bronze, silver, gold. This is sometimes called Goldilocks pricing. It's really powerful. Why three? Well, we could offer 4 or 5, but I always recommend start with 3 because it's called the magic of 3. And what that means is that when we present people with 3 different choices, not everybody, but most people gravitate towards the middle one. Because in behavioral economics, we know that we are all risk averse, and the middle option always feels the safest. When we're faced with 3 choices as a customer, if we buy the cheapest one, there's always that little nagging doubt at the back of our mind that it's not going to quite give us exactly what we're looking for. So the cheapest one might be more risky. But if we buy the most expensive one, we also have that nagging doubt that perhaps we're paying more than we need to. The middle one feels just right, which is why it's often called Goldilocks pricing. If you know the story of Goldilocks and the 3 bears and the porridge that's just right, not too hot, not too cold. That's what I call menu pricing. Goldilocks pricing, if you like, tiered pricing. We give people different packages, and I always recommend start with 3. When you get better at menu pricing, you might want to experiment with 4 packages, with 5 packages, but start with the magic of 3. And then let the customer choose the one based on their individual perception of the value of each package. So we've got this great big list of things we do. We've got these 6 initial features, for bookkeeping in this case. We've got 12 potential additional things, and we might not like all of them, but perhaps there's, let's say, 9 of them that you really like. So that's 9 plus 6, that's 15 things. How do we construct 3 different packages? Well, what we have to do is really, first of all, before we do that, we have to think about who are the different types of clients that buy. Because everyone's different. You have different types of customers in your business. And what we want to do is make sure that we identify the different types of business, the different types of buyers of your service or your product. And then we build packages that meet the needs of those specific types of businesses. And that can be a difficult process. But again, AI tools like ChatGPT make it so much easier. So let's run a prompt that does exactly that. If I go back to my prompt library, I have a prompt called Package Builder. It's here. I would copy it to the clipboard. I would go to ChatGPT and paste it in. Now I've already done this and it's here. So what this particular prompt does, and again, it's a long prompt, but that's partly because we have some detailed examples here to guide ChatGPT. I always put examples into these prompts based on my, in this case, 25 years of teaching value pricing, because I want to make sure I steer it in the right way to give a result that works. So what I've done here is we've got some variables again. Number of tiers, always start with 3. It's going to look at 3 different packages. And here's the outcome again. It's going to complete, the service outcome is completing a client's bookkeeping. And then we need to tell it, well, what are the features? Well, I've just taken the features from this website here. And then plus the additional features from your previous response. This is why I asked for a numbered list in the previous one, because let's say that you've got these 12 ideas, but you don't like all of them, or perhaps you're not ready to offer those things just yet in your business. You like some of them, but some you don't. So you can just use the numbering system. What I've done here is I've said, I want you to create packages based on the 6 things I currently do in my bookkeeping business, and I also want to start offering these things to add more value. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11. Okay, I just picked things from that previous list. You, of course, might like all of them. That's entirely up to you. So let's just quickly go through some of the elements of this prompt again. So we do have, at the start, we have a role. This time it's a pricing consultant. And what it's going to do is basically 2 things. Step 1, it's going to, for each of the number of tier packages, so that's each of the 3 packages, for each of the 3 packages, define a likely customer avatar and the primary outcome they want. Keep each avatar short and focused. So we wanted to come up with 3 suggested types of customer for this bookkeeping service first. Really important. And then once it's done that, it's going to build out our 3 packages by allocating the features to the most suitable package based on the avatar. And I've given it a template to follow for the output, and I've given it a series of examples. This is why it's a long prompt, the template and the examples. So let's see what it's done. So first of all, in the first half of the response, it's giving us 3 suggested avatars. It's saying that we might have for our essential package or bronze package, the avatar might be a small business owner or solo trader who needs their bookkeeping done correctly, but affordably. The desired outcome might be to keep their records compliant and up to date without overcomplicating the process. And important factors might be accuracy, affordability, reliability. And at this stage, what you would do is think, does that sound like a particular part of my client base? And if it does, great. And usually tools like ChatGPT are good at this. Package 2, the silver package, the middle package, if you like. It's suggesting this is for established small business owners who value insight as well as accuracy. They want bookkeeping that helps them make better financial decisions. Desired outcome is to gain visibility into business performance and confidence in their numbers. And what's important to them is efficiency, financial clarity, and actionable insights. Does that sound like a buyer for bookkeeping services? I think it does. And then thirdly, for our premium service, our gold service, it's for growing or multi-entity businesses that view bookkeeping as a foundation for financial strategy and decision making. The outcome they want is a fully supported, insight-driven bookkeeping process with proactive guidance and collaboration with accountants. Important factors: accuracy, insight, partnership, focus, future focus planning. And then it's building out the services. So for the entry level, it's basically setting out what the business currently does, which we have over here. And then it's suggesting that for the middle package, as well as the feature of essential, we should perhaps add in these features. And then for the top level, we might add in these particular features. And it's within a few seconds, you've got a really good starting point for your 3 packages, your bronze, silver, gold. Okay, so how can you get access to this? This and more training. I've got more to talk about. I want to talk about step 3. We've looked at how you can add value with one prompt. We've looked at how you can then build the packages. The next thing you need to do is to communicate the value. There's another prompt that follows on from this, but I'm going to do that in a separate course. How do you get that course? Well, very easy. First of all, of course, please do, if you found this valuable, like the video. Please subscribe if you've not already. But then if you want to find out more, I recommend you join the AI community. It's completely free. It's my community of over 1,000 people growing every single day, where I teach accounting firm owners, accounting professionals, business owners, how to master AI, how to master ChatGPT. There's a thriving community where you can ask me questions and interact with others, and there's also a classroom with courses. And what I've done in the use cases, I have built, there is another video that follows on from this one here. So if you found this valuable, please do hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. But also if you found it valuable, you'll find below the link to join the AI community. Remember, it's completely free. When you've joined the community, go into use cases, look for value pricing prompts, and I will then walk you through the next part of this video where I'll tell you the next stage of building your value pricing system. Thank you so much for coming along. I will see you on another video soon. Goodbye for now.